Deshaun Watson is very, very unhappy with what's going on over in Houston.
Which is fair. They don't have a future.
No, they don't at all, and he was not happy with the GM signing, which I was actually a little shocked that, like, I've never heard a quarterback being upset with a GM signing.
Well, if you give him the same power as you give Bill O'Brien, and Bill O'Brien's a fucking idiot.
Well, no. My thing is, but he's not the head coach. That's the difference. Bill O'Brien also was a moron. That's the GM's job to go out and draft. And, like, that is his job. If you get the right GM, then that's how it's supposed to be done. But there's rumors spreading that Deshaun Watson's going to request a trade this offseason because he's just done with Houston. And he knows he has the talent to be a winner. He's proven it in college. I think he's proven it in the NFL, even though he hasn't technically won anything in the NFL. Like, go back and watch some of his games.
He passes the eye test.
Yes,
he's he's a great leader. He's probably skill-wise a top, 7-8 quarterback in the league. Like,
yeah.
I mean, even on a bad team, those 4 wins are because of Deshaun Watson. Like
literally.
that defense sucked. Everybody else was horrible. Like,
so he's most likely going to get traded. My guess would be, most people's guesses are going to be, because usually when a guy's unhappy, doesn't want to play there,
especially the quarterback,
they usually get traded. They usually get what they want. Where do you think he's going to end up?
My favorite scenario would actually be the Bears. And the reason I say that is because we've been talking on the show all year. The Bears defense is legit. When they have good quarterback play, they make the playoffs. Mitch Trubisky, these last couple weeks, has done enough to possibly even save his job in Chicago. But I think they would rather move on if Deshaun Watson is available. An interesting trade package for that is the Bears would have to essentially say fuck it and go all in. They'd have to give up, because Mitch Trubisky is going to be a free agent. They'd trade away Nick Foles. What else?
I don't even think Nick Foles. They'd have to throw in a couple.
Nick Foles would just be to get the contracts to work.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he would also be like, if the Texans are going to lose anyways, I mean.
And I don't think
Nick
he's a
Foles
bad bridge guy.
Worst. No, he's.
I don't think he's a bad bridge guy.
No, but they have the defense. We've been saying it all year. The defense is legit. So why not actually take a run? But they would have to give up their next 2 first-round picks and probably a second-round pick from this draft. So the Texans then. The sad thing is if the Texans kept all their draft picks and Deshaun Watson still wanted to get traded and they did this, they'd be really set. It'd be a year of rebuilding and they'd have all their picks. But Bill O'Brien literally threw away the future for Brandon Cooks and Laramie Tunsil.
Yes.
Trash.
Yeah.
So.
Well, more for Brandon Cooks, I would say, because
Laramie Tunsil's okay.
That was more essential.
Although Brandon Cooks has had a good year this year. Quietly.
He's an okay deep threat.
He's not worth your future.
No, he's not.
But they're my most interesting team. I like the Bears, just because we've been hyping them up all year. And actually, if they're a team to keep an eye on, because if Mitch Trubisky can play mistake-free football these playoffs, they're going to be a lot harder of an opponent than people realize. But it really comes down to quarterback play with them. There's a reason they lost, 6 straight after going 5-1 or whatever it was.
Yeah. So a team I'm thinking of, and I don't really think anyone's looking at them, maybe the Carolina Panthers.
I don't hate that.
I also have Miami on here, but that take I heard from someone else.
Miami is a horrifying
reality. Thought that was an interesting take. We can talk about that in a second. But the Carolina Panthers, the reason I like that is because they already have a quarterback that plays the same way with Teddy Bridgewater, but Deshaun Watson's just a much better version.
Yeah.
So probably trade. You're gonna same thing. 2 first-round picks in a second. You got to give up those assets because Watson is I don't want to say generational talent, but he's up
pushing
there.
That. We'll see.
He's up there. Put him with a good
tell.
team. Put him with a good team. Yeah. Like I would love him to have him on New England. I just don't think they have the assets. But sorry, keep it to Carolina. I think. We've seen what McCaffrey can do.
McCaffrey's the top 3 running back in the league.
Debatably number 1 when he's healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, last year he was unstoppable. It's unfortunate he was hurt all year. And then DJ Moore started to become a good wide receiver.
DJ Moore's a great wide receiver.
And he's doing that with Teddy Bridgewater, who's no bum, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Deshaun Watson is just that next level. So imagine improving your offense twofold right there.
Teddy Bridgewater is a great bridge quarterback for the Texans. The biggest thing is the Texans are going to want 2 first rounds and a second from anybody.
They want to make up for what they've given away.
Yeah. So it's and I think they have to if they're going to trade him at all. But I like just teaming him up with Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield.
Yeah, that's what I find most interesting about this.
Who the hell do you stop? Like what? How do you game plan for that?
Deshaun Watson's a better dual threat than Teddy Bridgewater. He's a better thrower and a better runner.
But like you can even run your offense through Christian McCaffrey the same way Carolina's been doing it. And now you have Deshaun Watson when all else fails. Like I'm all for that.
Now I don't think Carolina's going to give up that much because defensively they need some work, and if they give up that draft capital, it's like cool, your offense improves. But now your defense is.
I also think Carolina's going to give Teddy Bridgewater another shot.
I do too. It's been 1 year. I just thought that was an interesting take because no one's really talking about it. So just kind of an outside thought. But one more team we want to talk about is Miami. I'll talk about the trade package and then you can kind of expand upon it.
Yeah.
The really interesting thing about this is Miami they're not a playoff team, but they won 10 wins, but they have the third overall pick because of the Texans. So
they'd be getting their pick back.
Exactly. So they would have to trade the third overall pick in Tua. And I think that would probably be one of the best packages the Texans could get because, one, you get not only a bridge quarterback, but potentially your quarterback. Potentially. Tua's been shaky, but I do think Tua could be the guy. Give him more than a year. He's a young guy coming off an injury from college. I think he could be the guy. And two, you get your third overall pick back where you can... I don't know who you draft at that position. Maybe another wide receiver.
Honestly?
Go
get the Heisman winner.
Devontae Smith. Go get him that. You know what I mean? So I think that would be the best package for them because you get your draft pick back, and it's not like, oh, well, now we need a bridge guy for the next guy.
The timeline
you could have it just works out well, and it works out great for Miami. So to bring it back to the Miami side, you know what? I said I'd let you talk about this. I'll let you talk about Watson on Miami.
Well, so Watson on Miami, actually, it's Tua this year has actually kind of I'm not going to say surprised me. He's underperformed in my expectations.
He hasn't been consistent.
Yeah, and I don't blame that on Tua. Don't forget he did come off a vicious hip injury, the same one that like ruined Isaiah Thomas's career
and Bo Jackson,
pretty much, and Bo Jackson. So like it's by no means a safe bet that Tua is going to be a star. I think he still can be, but he was very. You know who he reminded me of this year, like inconsistently. Cam Newton. Because like Cam Newton, sometimes when I'd watch him throw, it'd be a beautiful ball.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
And then like all of a sudden, it's just like, how the fuck did you miss that guy by like 15 feet?
It's like some days he's on, and then some days it's like...
It's like mechanic-wise
Did you like forget... It's like you'd get the yips random weeks.
Yeah, literally. So they kind of played very similar to me. I mean, Tua was a little better. He is young though, so there's a lot like... I mean, there's still a lot of room for improvement. He's got a long career ahead of him, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I just think that would work so well with. Did Tua actually play with I can't think of his name.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Devontae Smith.
Yeah, remember when they won the national championship in overtime?
That was his dude, right?
Yeah, he threw to Devontae Smith.
Yeah, that's sick.
Tua was actually, I saw something where Tua was like recruiting Devontae Smith to Alabama when they were both like going to Alabama. Tua had already committed, I'm pretty sure. And he was at some camp, and they were asking Devontae Smith, they're like, oh, anyone like chirping in your ear about any schools? And they're like, yeah, Tua really wants me to go to Alabama. He thinks we can do some great stuff there.
Yeah, well, lo and behold.
They did.
Actually, if you're Miami, little beside the point, if you're Miami, do you keep the third-round pick? Go and draft him as well. And so now you have Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki.
Well, I think if you're going to trade for Watson, you got to give up that third pick. Or
I'm saying they don't trade for Watson. They just keep Tua, ride with Tua, and you're just like, you know what? Here's your chemistry.
Well, now here's a better situation, better for Miami. So they know Watson wants out.
Yeah.
So why not trade Tua in their first-round pick? So you still have that third overall pick, and you get Watson. Now that's a better situation for Miami. Not as good for Houston, but Houston's in more of a pickle where it's like, oh, Watson doesn't want to be here, and this could potentially be our guy.
If you're Houston, though,
I would feel bad for Tua because it's like now you're getting thrown into Houston. But
you know, another interesting team actually, just while I'm thinking about it, the Denver Broncos didn't really play that well. They have the 9th pick.
They were also plagued with injuries this year.
I don't fully blame them for.
Noah Fant was in and out. Cortland Sutton was out for a while.
Yeah, I don't fully blame them. I mean, who else did they lose to? Von Miller, like, immediately.
Well, he might not be there. He might be. He's a free agent. He might leave.
Yeah, I've also been hearing some not too good rumors on him. Beside the point. But they have the 9th pick. They look like Drew Lock doesn't look bad by any means, I don't think.
But we're talking Watson
here. We're talking like Watson's proven himself. He's ready to go. So they get the 9th pick. They would probably end up having to trade another second round and probably the 2022 first round pick. So they would get a little more, I think. And I think Drew Lock has the same potential upside as Tua.
Yeah, I don't think quite as much, but yes.
Yeah,
that's debatable, but
it's very similar. But I think they'd get a little bit more. And actually, if you're the Texans, you could even go for at the 9th pick. You could even go for somebody like Trey Lance, or you could double up on quarterbacks and just be like, shoot it out. Best man wins.
There's potential there. The thing I like with the Broncos situation is there was so much young talent there where it's like, oh, they need to develop and get better, which that's true.
No.
And I think they're good. I mean, Jerry Jeudy I think is really good, but he's only going to get better. These guys are only going to get better. But I think if you insert Deshaun Watson with the Broncos, then he has that talent where he makes guys around him better because, 1, he can extend plays. 2, he has the arm talent.
Yeah.
So right there, that's a match made in
better
heaven.
Decision maker than Drew Lock as of right now.
Well, he's also always been a better quarterback overall than Drew Lock. They're not comparable. They also have 2 different play styles. Yeah. Drew Lock's more of a pocket guy where Watson is a little more of a scrambler. He can extend plays.
Watson's just a better QB.
Yes. So I just think that if you gave Watson that much offensive power, who is still developing and only becoming better, that would be huge for the Broncos. I'm interested to see where he goes because I think there's a lot of. I mean, we could go through the whole list in every single team. There's a lot of teams that would benefit from this, but the problem is they might not have the assets. Like New England, they don't have the assets to get Watson. Things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't even think New England's a great fit for Watson right now because they don't have weapons. So that's why I think the Broncos or Miami, I think is interesting because they're building a winning culture, and if you bring in a winner like Watson, wow.
Yeah.
The Broncos have the potential. They just haven't built that culture quite yet. Or Miami.
If I'm Miami, though, I'm not ready to give up on Tua. It's really hard.
That's
for me
the
to
thing.
do it.
Are you willing to move on from Tua already?
I mean, you saw flashes of really good sign. It was very inconsistent, but he's very young, and you saw flashes of greatness.
Or do you keep Tua and just trade your first rounders this year?
Listen, my bet is keep Tua.
Trade both your first rounders for Watson?
Oh, dog, there's no way. Double up the QBs. Although they'd lose Fitzmagic too.
He's a free agent, so
he's going to go somewhere.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I don't hate it.
No. That's all we have for today, folks. Thank you for watching. Once again, quick reminder, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all that. If you enjoy the content, please like, share, subscribe. Hey everyone, James Laney here, founder of Sports on Tap. If you enjoy our content and want to help us grow, there's an easy way you can do that. All you're going to want to do is go on any of our social media accounts, hit this link to our website, then click the Listen Here button, then go over to the Support button. Then you're going to have a few options for how much you'd like to donate a month. Then you're going to fill out your information down below, hit the support button. Any and all contributions will be appreciated and go directly towards the podcast to help us grow.